Devan Kaney, Ruben Amaro Jr., Justin Morgenstein behind the glass. It's time for our favorite segment of the week, Office Hours.
Let's do it.
Where we just like to start drama left and right, right, Rube? Okay, so our last Office Hours 2 weeks ago was certainly an interesting one. I talked to you a lot about the Phillies' upcoming free agents and who's likely to stay, who's likely to go, any unexpected moves that we could potentially see. So I want to kind of flip it and go the other side here and ask you about MLB free agents,
right,
and the likelihood that they could end up on the Phillies and how that would happen, what it would look like, what changes would need to be made in order to make certain moves work.
Okay.
There's a lot of interesting names. I feel like here in Philly, obviously we get kind of laser focused on just like a few specific names. But if you scroll through the names of, free agents, potential free agents, mutual options, around the MLB, there is a lot of names that stick out to me. Rhys Hoskins has a mutual option.
Interesting name.
Interesting name.
It is.
Interesting name. I know, I know even myself, I'm sick of should the Phillies bring back Rhys Hoskins? I think at this point, with the amount of fans who are just frustrated with the Phils coming up short year after year, I would imagine maybe there would be less excitement with a Rhys Hoskins because it'd be more of a, why are we running it back once again? Bring in some fresh blood here. But who knows? Anything's possible, especially if they don't end up signing Kyle Schwarber.
Correct.
Alex Bregman has been a name that's been floated around a ton. Eugenio.
My favorite name.
Suarez, also a big name. I didn't realize he was 34, by the way.
Not a child.
Not
and
a
apparently,
child.
And apparently, well beyond grandpop years. Because if you're 33 or above,
right. Yeah, you're a
grandpa.
You're a grandpa.
Yeah,
I know. Which
I don't know if that makes me. That's 3 decades younger than I am.
Yeah. So I just want to go through some names that kind of stick out to me.
Let's go.
And I want you to give me how do we measure this? Is it like a scale of 1 to 10 on likelihood that they could end up a Philly by 2026?
1 to 10 or 10 being the highest?
Yes, let's do 10 being the highest.
Probability? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All
right, so let's start with the name that we were just talking about, Alex Bregman, third baseman.
I'd like to think it'd be a 10, but because he's one of my favorite players in baseball as far as just bringing so much to the table. Competitiveness, he's been there, he's done it, he's won, he's got rings. He's one of those players that provides defense, offense. He's right-handed. He would be a 10 for me. The likelihood of him coming to the Phillies, I'm going to say it's going to be a 6.
Oh, above 50%.
I'm going to just slide a 6 in there.
Okay.
And I think there's some hope there. I think that's a vote of hope.
Follow-up question here. If they get Alex Bregman, if that, 6 out of 10 comes true, how will that impact? Does that mean that they don't sign Kyle Schwarber? How will that impact how they spend elsewhere?
That is, I would say if they do not sign Kyle Schwarber, then he's probably closer to a 9 or a 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's what I would think.
So a 6, assuming that they're going to...
Again, I don't know the front office, how they feel about Alex Bregman. I have no idea. What I do know is he's the perfect type of player that you'd like to have in your lineup based on what we've seen and how they've faltered in the playoffs. Because this is about making a signing for players who are going to perform in the playoffs and in the World Series. If you're going to put some money into somebody, you want to get somebody who has been there, done it, and had success doing it. And he sort of checks a lot of those boxes.
Yeah. And guys who, step up in the postseason, I didn't realize Kike Hernandez with the Dodgers.
Yeah, ridiculous numbers.
He's going to be a free agent.
He's
someone, I don't think that they'll sign him, but he's someone who... do you ever have athletes who you just know that you don't like them when they're on the opposing team, but you know that they would be so perfect in Philadelphia?
That was Harrison Bader.
I was literally just going to say that.
That's Harrison Bader.
Yeah.
He's like Harrison Bader 1.0 because Harrison Bader came after Kike, especially with the way Kike has impacted the Dodgers and some other teams over the years. But Kiki's not a kid anymore either. But I would not be surprised that if they don't bring a guy like Bader back, maybe they do like an under the radar signing of Kike, just because he can play center field, and then you could put Crawford in left and maybe Marsh in right, and make yourself a little bit more athletic. Kike hasn't had great seasons, but he does step forward in the postseason.
And he's an energy guy.
He is one of those energy
guys here in Philly.
No doubt.
All right, this is a name. Speaking of guys who we don't like, Pete Alonso.
Again, I think it's one of those situations where I don't believe that they necessarily, unless they can move another contract, and I don't know how they do that, I don't believe that he comes to the Phillies if Schwarber signs with them. If they don't, I think I just don't know that they can put all those dollars on the payroll. But I do like the idea of Alonso hitting behind Harper, and you may see them prioritize him if they don't bring Schwarber back. You may see them prioritize a guy like Alonso because he can. Now you got the left-right split, and that's a good thing. He'd probably hit behind Harper at that point.
I also didn't realize, looking at the list of first basemen who are upcoming free agents, Luis Arias is going to be a free agent.
And I like him, and I think he's a very good hitter. Obviously, one of the better contact hitters in the game, and he gives you a different dynamic in that way. But I'd like to get a right-handed bat with a little thump. If I was going to really... I love him. I like the guy. But you're really changing like your dynamic as far as power is concerned because he doesn't have a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
He's a good hitter.
Wait, did you give me a number on Pete Alonso?
No. Oh, so the number on Pete Alonso would be, it depends, again, it depends on Kyle Schwarber. If it's Kyle Schwarber does not sign back, I think he's a 10.
Wow. But like higher than Bregman?
I think he's a 10.
If Kyle Schwarber doesn't sign back.
Correct.
If Kyle Schwarber does, a 0?
If Kyle Schwarber does sign back, I think it's probably a 2.
Okay.
How am I doing?
You're doing great.
All right.
You're doing great.
I'm trying.
All right. I'm going to go through a couple more names, then Justin, I'll get to you. We'll get to the phones. If you have a question for Rube, you want to get in, 215-592-9494. Cody Bellinger.
I love the player. The fact that he's left-handed hurts them. Unless, again, the Kyle Schwarber is a factor, but I love him in the outfield. I'll take him in center field and just stick him out there, and that would be a dynamic outfield as far as defense is concerned. But you got 3 guys hitting from the left side out there. It just makes him too left-handed. I'll say he's a 5.
Okay. 2 more names from me. I'm gonna do one last. So I'll go to Jock Peterson. Remember, wasn't there like a weird rumor going around that he was gonna, or didn't he start it? He like tweeted that
he posted the picture on Instagram with the Fanatic.
Why did he do that?
I think he was just trolling and bored one day.
Psychopath behavior.
Who knows? Jock Peterson is probably a 0.
Okay, that's fair.
Because they don't need any more swing and miss, and he can only hit right-handed pitchers.
Okay, this last name is someone who I have always wanted on the Phillies. He's going to get a bag. I don't know if they're going to pay it, but Kyle Tucker.
I mean, I love the guy. I think he brings a lot to the table. Again, only if Kyle Schwarber's not there, and he's probably sitting at about a 8.5. I think it's Alonso over Tucker only because Tucker will be more expensive, and Alonso's right-handed.
Okay. Pete Alonso, Bregman. Did I ask you? I can't say his name.
Eugenio
Suarez.
Yes.
What about him?
I like him. Okay. I'll take him, and I think he's sort of and you can sign him, I believe, in addition to Kyle Schwarber. But you want to do a short-term deal with him.
He's 34.
Yeah, you want to do a short-term, and I'm not sure if we'll take a short-term, but I'll take him hitting behind Harper.
So of the names we just went over, give me top 3 most likely.
Wow. Again, it's all really dependent on whether they bring Kyle Schwarber back. If they don't bring Kyle Schwarber back, I would say Alonso, Bregman, Tucker.
1 to 3.
Yes.
In that order. What if they do bring Kyle Schwarber back?
Then I don't know that
None
they can
of them?
bring any of them. I don't know if they can bring any of those.
See, that's
guys
interesting because that makes you that makes you think.
The payroll's already they can't have a $400 million payroll.
Yeah, but
they've already.
Those are some really talented names. I love Kyle Schwarber. I think he's super important to both on and off the field. Like I've said, but. I mean, those are really good players who we just talked about.
I mean, you can revamp your team in a lot of ways. I know that they're going to try to do what they can to bring him back. It's not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the percentage of him coming back is probably 80% is my guess. I'll just throw that out there because I know how
That's
much.
That's up 3 percentage points from the last time you gave me a percentage.
What did I say? 77?
77.
Okay, so now it's up 8. So
okay.
3%. So I just feel like he fits all the boxes of what you want of an athlete here in Philadelphia and what he brings to the table. On the field, off the field, all the above. And, sometimes you got to go with the devil because he's so special. He's really a special person.
Yeah. Justin, what do you have?
Yeah, before I get to my main questions, Rube, what would be your limit with Schwarber, whether it's years or AAV? What is your limit you think that they're willing to spend on?
Well, I think it's about the years. And for me, I think it's going to take 5 years. Just because I think that the teams like Chicago and Cincinnati's going to want to make a really big push on a guy. They did it with Votto years ago, and people say, well, they don't have any money. Well, I think for a special player like that, they'll probably get pretty aggressive with him. Chicago has money. Chicago has a chance. Tucker's gone. They know him. He's played on their team. He's won a ring with them. So. Wouldn't be surprised if they're not pushing the buttons. He's a Midwest guy, so I think it's going to take 5 years, and I think the numbers are going to start with at least a 3. So we're talking, as far as an AAV, so we're talking about $150 million. It's a lot of freaking money.
Yeah, for
it's not my money
for a 33-year-old designated hitter.
For a 33-year-old, but I think that when I think about getting these special types of players, and I view him as a special player because he brings so much more to the table. You almost, much like when I thought about the pitchers, when you're in this really high level of payroll, you're buying 5 years to get 4 quality out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds strange. It doesn't sound like it's the right thing business-wise, but if you break it down, and for pitchers, if you go more than 3 years, you're getting 2.5 years out of 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's sort of in your mind. That's what you're probably banking on because someone's going to get hurt or the production's going to go down.
Yeah,
you're not going to get over production for a guy who's in his mid-30s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and something a little more in the weeds here that I was curious about. One of the, I guess, lesser points of the Dave Dombrowski press conference was they made Mike Calitri the field coordinator, and now they have a bench coach opening. Do you think the route they go with that, do they go with a younger guy, somebody who might be an up-and-coming name in baseball, or someone who's had managerial experience before? And is it maybe something to where, obviously, Rob Thompson's getting these 1+1 deals? Could that be the future manager of the Phillies, potentially, that they're looking for?
I think that they're going to look for somebody with a little more experience. I feel like they probably want someone with a dissenting voice. That sometimes, when you're in the dugout, clubhouse, and I've been in both of them, you don't want nothing but yes men. You want people who give you a different perspective on things, or someone who's had the experience of being there and doing it. So I think experience is going to mean a lot. Doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to be the next manager, but I think experience means something because you want somebody to give you a different perspective. Hey. Should we think about pinch hitting this guy? I want somebody there in that dugout saying, "Well, think about this because you might want to do this."
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I like people with diverse ideas and thoughts, and someone who's not afraid to express them. And I think a younger person would be less apt to do that, and I think a more veteran guy would. So I think that's probably what they're shooting for, in my opinion. I don't know that. I haven't talked to Dave Dombrowski, and I haven't talked to the rest of the group or anybody about it, but I would assume that that's the deal.
Makes sense. And last thing I had for you was, so the Phillies have been in on some of these free agents from Japan before. Obviously, they made a big push for Yamamoto. Yep. Murakami's a guy that's out there this offseason. It feels like they've been trying to get into that market, and it's just been difficult with the Dodgers and all the West Coast teams, and even the Mets and the Red Sox getting in on it. What is it going to take eventually for the Phillies to sort of break the seal on that market, and can they even do that?
It's a really hard market to jump into just because of the demographics. I think that some of the players are coming from the Far East they want to be comfortable in their own skin. They know that certain organizations have had and dealt with and can handle having a Japanese player on their team. Mm-hmm. And I think that while they are trying to be aggressive with it, John Milton was very open and honest in trying to get Yamamoto here. I mean, there's no question about that. Probably offered him more money than he ended up getting it with LA. Yeah. But I think it's really about the comfort. They want to make sure when they come over here that this is a space for them. And I think it's going to take a little bit more. It'd be great. And I would assume that they're going to try to pursue Murakami just like any other team would. But it's hard to break through unless you have players here. And like the last player was So Taguchi, maybe, who had sort of any sort of impact, a Japanese player that had really impact on this team.
They had someone.
Chanho Park was with us from Korea.
They had someone at spring training who they.
That's right, the right-hander who.
But he didn't work out.
He
yeah,
didn't
Agi,
well.
I think that was his name.
And not because of it wasn't he didn't want to be there. I think he just wasn't.
He didn't play well. And so you just have to sort of get lucky with the player and who may be of a lesser ilk,
right?
And then have that experience be a positive one for the Japanese player, Japanese player, and then maybe he can jump into the market more heavily. But I know they're trying.
Yeah, they are certainly trying.
Yeah,
because he's a fit too. He's 25. He's a corner infielder. Power.
No, it's interesting.
I think it's a geographical disadvantage. I
agree with that.
And also, when you have a team you have the chance to play with a Shohei Ohtani and now Yamamoto, I understand it. It's certainly a disadvantage.
Yeah, the Dodgers thing seems impossible. But look, the Red Sox got Yoshida, the Mets got Senga. There are guys who have come to the East Coast.
There are guys who will come. They will come to the East Coast. And it's just a matter of getting lucky enough for someone.
You good?
For someone to jump into this marketplace.
You hit that cough button very well. That was
I'm a veteran.
Smooth cough button.
Yeah, I've had to do it a few times on the air.